I decided to start a little early, so hopefully people will be popping in. Yep, I see two people so far. Yeah, I started a little early, so hopefully. Hi Karen, hi Becky. Hey Mima, how are you? In case it looks a little different, it's because I'm at my sister's house because I'm going to be watching her kids. Oh, thank you, Lori. And she's in the background trying not to make too much noise as she brings in the groceries. Thank you, Becky. Good afternoon, Teresa. Hi, Deanna. Thank you. Did any of you check out the collab today for healthy, quick, and easy dinner ideas? I've seen a couple of them so far, but I was traveling this morning to get here, so I didn't get to watch all of them yet. I am doing fairly well, just was tired from the long drive. It took an hour and a half to get here, so that always kind of wears on my body a little bit, especially because I'm steering and pushing the pedals, so my muscles are not overly keen on doing all of those actions. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, Deanna, that chili, Paul even was like, "Oh, you're making that again?" Because I made it once and recorded it, and that was when I learned that you can't put the cream cheese in at the same time as everything else. But we still loved it, but it just works better adding it in at the end. So when Paul was like, "Oh, that's sad, you have to make it again," he was really excited about it. They are 13, right? They're both 13? Yeah, they're both 13 now. They're not twins, though. They were, um, my sister had one, her ex wife had the other, like 6 months apart. They were crazy, but Sandy, you had to watch the ads. Well, at least you're here since you're my only little person who can post, moderator or whatever they call it. I do have some channels ready, such as yours, Sandy. So I will share that. And here is Sandy's channel. I just finished watching her um, collab video from today. It looks really good. Thank you, Deanna. Yeah, I mean, I'm used to it by now. It's been, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years since I've been dealing with this. So I've kind of gotten into a rhythm where I know, okay, it's going to be up here and then it's going to come down. So I definitely understand how my body is working these days. No, I'm not doing any cooking today. I don't know what my sister has planned. She is going to work tonight, so I will be with the kids. So I don't know what we're doing for dinner yet. Hi, Wendy. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see that you got your video up. So I mean, there wasn't any real problem with that video. Actually, let me find Wendy's channel. I don't know if I don't know what I'm thinking of. I know what I'm thinking of, but the Kim, I don't know why I'm blanking. Hopefully Kim's going to be popping in. Oh, thank you, Sandy. Here I was trying to find it. Yeah, I've had some glitches happen too, Wendy, so I totally get it. Like I said, I once recorded an entire video, and it wasn't until I went to upload it and edit it and everything that I realized it did not have any sound. So I wasn't going to dub the whole thing. So I ended up scrapping that one. But that was early on. Not that it couldn't have happened again, but I'm I'll double and triple check things now. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Louise. That's very nice of you. Yeah, I was heartbroken. I think it was General Tso's chicken a long time ago, and I ended up redoing the video. And I do mention in that video that I did forget the audio in the previous one. But yeah, there were times when it's like I finished recording, and Paul would be like, "How did it go?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, it seems because in my head, I feel like I'm all over the place. Luckily, there's editing, so it looks like I'm more put together than I really am." Thank you, Julie. Yeah, Sandy is my designated moderator to share all of the channels so that I don't get lost. Because I'll start looking for things and get distracted and not know what the heck I'm talking about. Yeah, well, my other microphone actually started getting very crackly and it would cut in and out. So we got a new one, and when I first started editing, I could hear like a hum. Paul says, excuse me. Paul says he doesn't really hear it, and maybe it's because I have the earbuds in and I try to tone it down, so hopefully it's not too distracting. I have a couple of things, Louise, that I'm thinking of for the next video. I did an enchilada lasagna, or I just did this brownie recipe that is super, super easy. I still love my original brownie recipe, and this one is very different in texture, but it's just 4 ingredients: bananas, cocoa, peanut butter powder, and sugar-free syrup. So it's a toss-up between those two, which one I'll be doing. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. See, Diana now has her Caesar salad dressing, so now she's on to gingerbread, which is something I definitely want to do. So I'm going to add that to the list. And I did do gingerbread pancakes, and those were really good. And I also did eggnog pancakes with an eggnog sauce. I'll have to find those and share them. Oh yeah, Becky, that chicken cacciatore looks really good. I haven't had it. I told her I haven't had it in a while, so that would be a lot of fun to make. Top 2 favorite recipes that I've made. I really love one of the early ones was the blueberry cream cheese bars. That's still one of my favorites. Um, I I'm probably leaning more towards desserts, but I think the I also like the snickerdoodles, partly because it was pretty easy to do, and um, I also liked being able to play around with the editing and get Santa Claus to visit me in that one. So I think those are no, the chewy oatmeal cookies. I would go with that one. So Pat, I think those are the two I choose. Of course, the desserts, but um, yeah, I think I would like those. Yeah, I haven't had it. In Cindy, don't worry about it. You're fine. It's only a couple of minutes. Um, yeah, Karen, I had it before, but it's been a very long time. So I'm eager to try it, especially something that's that easy to throw together. Yeah, Jackie, I bought years ago at like the Christmas tree shops a bunch of little mini loaf pans that I still have in boxes downstairs. My whole plan was I'm going to make all these breads for people and give them out as gifts. I never did it. So I still have them waiting to be used at some point. Oh yeah, that's another one, Lori. The cheese. If you're talking about the mac and cheese steak, that yeah, that's another popular one. Paul loves that one. Oh yeah, Sandy, that chili. Paul, I was surprised that he was like, "Oh, you get to make it again? Fine with me." He really liked it. So that's always when, like I said, that's always when I know it's ready to put out as a video. Is when Paul gives me that thumbs up. Pat, I usually do cook every day. Um, I always do for. I mean, I don't cook for breakfast except for the weekends, but we have for our weekday breakfast, we have yogurt with banana, blueberry, strawberry, and then a little bit of cereal on top for some crunch for just like 2 bites, 2 points. Um, Lunch, I usually change it up a little bit, sometimes sandwiches, sometimes grilled cheese, things like that. But dinner, I almost always cook, unless Paul's in the mood to call out, and then I'm like, okay, doesn't take much to twist my arm. Yeah, that seems to be a popular one, Karen, the mac and cheese steak, because like even my friend Bree from Balancing Life with Bree is one of her favorites, so she's talked about it a lot on her channel. So I'm trying to see if I can get to the recipes, the videos, so that I can share those as well. Um, Actually, no, Deanna, I have the fudge on my list with your name next to it, so I know who asked for it. And I did do a couple of attempts. The first couple, the flavor was good, but they never set. They remained liquid. So I'm looking into other things. So I am still working on it. So don't think you've been forgotten. Yeah, actually, let me share that one first, Jackie, because that's like a super popular dish. Um, let's Yeah, this is one of my older ones, and it's definitely one of the most. So here's the mac and cheese steak video, and let me see if I can. It's not a cake, but I'll see if I can find the gingerbread pancakes, so that way you can maybe get those flavors. And it's with a cream cheese syrup, so you almost get like that gingerbread cake with cream cheese frosting kind of feel from it. And there, if it goes, why is it not sending? Okay, there it goes. And that one's the gingerbread pancakes. Close to a gingerbread cake, but I'll work on that. I have it on my list. So, yeah, Bree loves that one, Karen. She was always that's one of her go-tos. Oh, that sounds good, Pat. Yeah, see, I try to keep things simple. One of the biggest, more complex recipes that I did was the berries and cream cake that I put out recently. Um, that one was a bit more involved than my typical recipe, but it was like so good. I mean, and it's worth if you're having a special occasion. You put in a little extra effort. So, hello, World Tours, Deanna. Nice little heart eyes there. Tamara, hey, how are you? Is it Tamara or Tamara? I think D says Tamara. I don't know. You're welcome, Deanna. Let's see. Am I breaking up? Mima says I'm breaking up. Oh. Oh yeah, that peanut butter and chocolate frosting is such an easy recipe, Pat. And definitely not Weight Watchers or healthy friendly, but yeah, so easy. I mean, all you have to do is microwave two things, throw them together. I do have some xanthan gum, so I'll try that. I've been like doing all sorts of investigative reporting, not reporting yet, but investigating at least. Um, and I haven't seen any with xanthan gum, but might be worth a try because the top of the fudge would set, and I'd go and touch it, and underneath it was just liquid. Tasted good, but I have it right. Okay, all right, good. I'm glad because sometimes you really can't tell how somebody pronounces their name tomorrow. Thank you, Brenda Lou. Okay, Mima. Is anyone else having issues with my sound or anything? Anything breaking up? Oh, you fixed it? Okay. I did. It's up. I think it's the second one. I should have actually written what each one was. But if you scroll up, the first one you'll hit is the gingerbread pancakes. The next one should be the mac and cheese steak. So, Jackie, if you just scroll up, not the first one you find, but the next one. Thank you, Ellen. It's nice to see you here. Yeah, I'm shocked that it's been 2 years. Today was the first video went up 2 years ago today, and I really didn't expect to do much, honestly. But I'm surprised all the time. I mean, I'm just under 3,500 subscribers right now. So, and actually, does anyone happen to know where my channel name came from? Some of you may have been there. Yep, the first one, Lori, was the cream cheese. I did an introduction and then the cream cheese. So I kind of talked about myself, told my story, and tried to do a little funny bit in the beginning where I'm sitting there in a robe welcoming you to the channel. Thank you, Mima. I appreciate that. Yeah, it took me a long time to consider doing the channel because Paul kept saying I should, but I'm like a very socially anxious person typically, so it made me feel awkward. But especially since no one else is in the room, I do it all myself. It's a little easier for me to just feel like comfortable. If Paul were there, or anyone for that matter, I'd feel kind of self-conscious, but doing it on my own actually works for me. So thank you, Mindy. I appreciate that. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, that cream cheese, Nikki, I have that in the fridge almost constantly. I mean, I use it for everything. Yeah, Lori, I use it. I'll put it on like the Wassa crackers with a little everything bagel seasoning. I'll make frostings, or a lot of my desserts do use it, or even some of my meals. I did not, Jackie. And one of the problems for me is I like having the 0 bite, 0 point foods, because if I had to track every single item, I think it would make me nuts and I wouldn't continue. So I do have calories as my secondary metric on the Healthy app. I don't really rely on that, obviously, because I'm not tracking everything. If it's 0 bites, I typically don't put it in. Well, you don't seem self-conscious at all, Mima, because you seem very relaxed sitting there. But yeah, and even setting up for a new video, I'll procrastinate, I admit it, because I kind of just, I don't know. Once I'm doing it, I'm fine. Once I've done it, I feel great. But it's just that working up to doing it, sometimes I really have to push myself. And Paul, I'll say, oh, maybe I think I'll record it tomorrow, but he pushes me, no, go do it. Go take care of it. Yeah, Pat, that cream cheese, I mean, you can put anything in it. Yeah, Lori, those are great. I've done a few different flavored cream cheeses on the channel. I did like pumpkin and cinnamon apple. So there are things you can do with it besides just using it as cream cheese. So yes, Sandy, you seem much more at ease at it than I do. Yeah, everything bagel. I love that seasoning. Yeah, Sandy is definitely a natural at it. Although people early on, people were saying, "Oh my God, you're such a natural at this," and I'm like, "Are they watching the same channel?" So, I mean, but I think I seem natural because I'm by myself. And if someone else were there, I think I'd seem less natural because I'd feel self-conscious. So I think being alone definitely helps. Well, let me see if I can find that one for you. The cinnamon apple pat, because it's really, really good. And I mean, it's not overly sweet, and you get your fruit in. So, cinnamon apple. There it is. And it's 0 points. I'm trying to catch the video and pause it before it actually starts playing. I don't know if it'll make any noise or not. So I should put in front of this so that people know what it is. Cinnamon. See, this is why people have their little brigade helping them with this kind of stuff, because, oh, I just put cinnamon, apple, cinnamon. I'm telling you. Come on. Cream. Okay. There, now you'll know what it is that I'm sharing with you. I didn't do that before. Thank you, Mindy. I appreciate that. A lot of people say they're shocked that I'm as self-conscious as I am, but I've always been that way. Oh, awesome, Karen. Oh, making your own ground meat at home. It was so easy, and you definitely save a lot of money, because if you buy it on sale, a lot of times we'll have chicken on sale for like $1.99 a pound in those big 3-pound packs. If you tried to buy it, I mean, they charge you so much just to grind the meat for you. I don't get it, but being able to do it at home definitely saves money. I should text Kim and say, "Oh, you're ignoring me. I stop in on yours live and you ignore me." Oh, really, Karen? Yeah, I was a little anxious. Like, I have an Instant Pot that my brother gave me. I still haven't used it yet, just because when something's new to me, I get a little anxious. Once I use it, I know I'll be fine. Just like with the cameras. Paul bought these cameras that I was like freaked out by, and now I'm just like, oh, yeah. So super easy to grind your own meat at home. Oh, you did text her, Sandy? I can't believe that woman has left me high and dry. Well, I am planning on doing a few recipes using the Instant Pot once I feel comfortable with it, Karen. Um, I mean, like I said, I haven't used it before, and I know it's supposed to be easy, everything right there. I just haven't yet, but I will be coming out with some. So hopefully you and I can start using our Instant Pots together. Oh, good. I'm glad, Budget Girl, that we're not the only ones. Is it hard to clean, Brenda Lou? I didn't know that. That will definitely change my ideas if it's too difficult to clean. Wow, 5 years. My brother just gave me his old one maybe 6 months ago, and he keeps saying, I don't see any Instant Pot recipes on your channel. They'll be coming. I really do have to get to use it. He gave me an Instant Pot, a WW Instant Pot cookbook. Still haven't used it. Oh. Oh, really? Meanwhile, that. Hmm. Wow. I wonder why Papa didn't. Was it something in the way that it cooked them, or just the meals they came up with for it? Oh, Lori, I'm surprised that you didn't get a notification. I'm glad you had it on your calendar, though. Well, thank you, Deanna. I appreciate that. Um, Actually, I've been thinking of maybe I really don't need to add any more videos to my plate, but I've been thinking of maybe doing like a little weekly something like a chat more than a recipe. Um, just because I'm trying to get back to my goal weight because over the past 6 months, I kind of let myself slide a little bit. And, I'd be like, oh, well, I ate some junky food this week and I didn't gain anything, or maybe I just gained half a pound. So it must be fine now. And I just let myself go a little bit. So I have 25 pounds that I need to get back off. I definitely can tell when I look at the older videos to now. I can definitely see it, especially although I don't mind, like my neck was very, like you could see every tendon in my neck. Um, so, I don't necessarily have to get that extreme, but I do need to lose like 25 again. Um, and my journey, that's part of my journey. I kept everything off. I lost the weight. I kept things off for, I mean, it was 2 years before I slowly started building back on. And as we often do, oh, it's just a pound. Those pounds add up. So um, I'm definitely for the first time. Usually I would be like, okay, gotten to my goal weight. I'm off whatever I'm doing, and then I'd be back in the same boat. This is the first time that I'm still following the program, still working on it, rather than just giving up and saying, oh, now I've lost the weight, I can do what I want to do. It doesn't work that way, especially the older we get. Um, and my desire to have a channel. I see, I wanted to share recipes. What I was doing early on was I was creating recipes and I would share them to my friend Bree, who had, at that time, she had her channel with her husband at the time. And I had passed it off to them and have them make it. And Paul kept saying, why don't you do your own channel? Bree kept saying, why don't you do your own channel? And it took me a couple of months to feel comfortable. I researched, I did all this editing research. So it took a while for me to feel comfortable enough that I felt I knew enough that I could do it on my own. But I needed to find ways of making food that I would eat, especially desserts, sadly enough. And a lot of the recipes that I was finding, like Hungry Girl, WW, they were higher bites and points or whatever than I wanted to spend. I mean, some of the things that I see, I get a newsletter from Hungry Girl, and some of the things that they're sharing, it's like 14 points or bites, and I'm like, that doesn't seem very friendly to this program. So I was working on trying to get things down as low as I possibly could for bites and points and calories. I do share the macros, but honestly, I don't really know much about macros because I don't know what's good, what's not. So I'm assuming, since the other items are good, that they are, but I guess it would depend if you're keto or not, or things like that. Um, yeah, Brenda Lou, I love using a liner in a crock pot. Usually, the liners that I get are the big ones. I can't find the ones for my smaller crock pot, so I do sometimes use that one um, in the smaller crock pot. But it's harder to find those, but I do enjoy using the liners. Yeah, see, that's something I'm definitely gonna. If it's too much to clean, Brenda Lou, I probably won't be using it. Yeah, Paul can be picky too, Mima, so I get it. Like, but his pickiness has actually helped me go in certain directions, like his dislike for the aftertaste of erythritol, which is apparently a hot topic now. Um, so, you know, that finding other sweeteners was an important thing because I want him to be on board with everything as well. So I don't feel like I have to make things. I try to make things that you can share with people who aren't on the program and they're not like, what is this? This doesn't taste right. D, hello, D. Very nice of you to join us. Oh, Mima, I watch your weigh-ins, and I know that you are very focused on keeping it in there, and I have to get back to that. So let me see. I know I have Dee's channel here ready to go, so you don't have to worry about that one, Sandy. I figured she might pop in. Oh, and as I was saying, if anyone doesn't know where the name of my channel came from, it came from Dish with D. We were chatting about me maybe doing a channel, and we decided that instead of Dish with D, it'd be Recipes with Roy. So that's where my channel name came from. I miss Bree too, Lori. I text her every now and again. We chat. Um, she's doing better. She's been going gluten free because of the issues that she's been having, and she's been feeling a lot better. Oh, thank you, Diana. I appreciate that. And I was so relieved, Diana, that you enjoyed the Caesar dressing because I could make it and have everybody else say that they liked it. But since you were the one who requested it, I wanted to make sure um, that I was glad that you liked it because disappointing the person who requested it, not good for my ego. I don't really have that much of an ego, but yeah, I mean it's great to have a goal, and I'm glad I did. See, I don't know if I weren't doing the channel, if I would have caved and gained a little weight and said, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I don't know if knowing that I'm going to be doing videos is what made me stick, or if it's because I know I need to because of my body issues. Um, you know, being able to move without all that extra weight. Definitely, I do still have problems with my nerves and muscles, but they are nothing like they were before. Thanks, Dee. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, like I was saying, I cannot believe it's been 2 years. It does not seem that. Oh, thank you, Dee. I appreciate that. I I know. Can you believe I am trusting Sandy this way? But she's been good with helping me out. Oh, did you have her link ready? Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy. Thank you, Tana. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm glad you find it helpful. That is the main thing that I'm hoping for, is that I can give recipes that people go back to and that are low enough in bites, points, or calories that they don't feel like they are missing out by having small portions or anything like that. You know me, I like a big portion, and if I can get satisfied from it, then I think anybody should be able to. I have seen that, Dee. I appreciate that. Yeah, I knew, because a lot of people were asking me questions, and I just thought doing the tutorials for the Healthy app would be easier. And actually, I just found out something new that I did not even know about, is that you can multi-track. You could just, like, say if you have something in your favorite foods, you can track, hit all of them and track them all at once. I didn't even know that. Someone was asking me because in the latest update, apparently they had issues being able to do that. So they asked me about it, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was a possibility. So now I do. So I may do another little quick tutorial just on doing that if anyone needs to know how to track multiple things. It's great if it's for like recipes that you're using constantly, or if you are under My Foods, because like I often edit foods so that I can weigh them instead of doing by the cup. Because some things like nuts, they're in such odd shapes. I don't know if I'm getting an accurate cup, so I'd much rather weigh them. So I always save them that way. I edit them and save them. So tracking, if I'm doing multiple of those types of foods, tracking multiple at once would be good. Oh, thank you, Brenda Lou. Yeah, I mean, you got to be satisfied. If you're not satisfied, and it's great to have these low bite, low point dinners or dishes that you know are available, but to find that they're just small portions, or that you know it's a higher bite or point than you want, I can't do it. So I have to modify things, try to make things as low as possible. Oh, Karen, I appreciate that. I'm glad. I sometimes worry, and I know I've mentioned this before, I sometimes worry that I go into too much detail, especially early on. Paul was like, you have to edit yourself, get things edited down. But I'm like, I can't edit out information I think can help somebody. It might not help everybody, but I'd rather somebody have too much information and not need it than have no information or very little information and need it. Because I see a lot of recipes online, and I'm like, I don't understand how they got to that point, or why they're doing this, or why should I do it that way. So I try to make that as clear as possible. Hopefully, it seems like a lot of people enjoy that. I have had a couple of people say my videos are too long, which sometimes they are, but like I said, I'd rather people have that information than not have it at all. Thank you, Brenda Lou. Yeah, I mean, WW's really been having some struggles lately with their choices. I mean, I left them a couple years ago, like a year and a half ago, when they were having all sorts of trouble with their ambassadors who were sharing racist things, or their products they were pairing up with that supposedly were doing racist things. So I left at that point, but off and on, they keep digging themselves into a little hole there. And I'm glad there are alternatives for people. Yeah, I've heard of the Lose It app, Lori, and I actually, for a while, I was showing all of the different app icons on my thumbnails, and that was one of them I had on there. I haven't used it myself, um, but I may have to look into it just because I'm curious about it, and it would have to be really easy for me to switch to counting calories because, as I said, getting into the minutia of doing all of that every single item, I don't know if I would stick to it or not. Yes, thank you, Dee. If you can give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. That does help my channel. Thank you, Mima. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when I was looking through WW or Hungry Girl at the numbers that they were giving me for a dinner or a lunch or what have you, and I only get so many points or bites a day. I don't want to spend that much on that. And, I had to find ways to lower things. Well, I'm glad, Karen, that you appreciate too much information. I mean, and some of it, yeah, I might repeat over and over because I'm using the same product or what have you. Um, but, you know, I mean, maybe it was because I was a teacher and I feel like I need to give information because I always tried to teach so that people weren't relying on um, just having the information. They were learning how to get to the information, if you know what I mean. So I still do that in the videos, and I'd much rather um, give people all of that information so that they know maybe they'll make their own recipe of something and think, oh, I know what I can do, or I know what should happen here, or something like that. So I like to give the information that's going to get someone, not just like, I guess it's basically like give a man a fish or teach him how to fish kind of thing. I'd much rather teach people how to fish so that, not that I like fish, you know that. But so that people have the knowledge of why they're doing something. If they go off on their own, it might help them in some way. I appreciate that, Sandy. Yeah, I mean, some people, I mean, granted, I understand some people do have limited time, so maybe videos are too long for them, but yeah, Brenda Lou, I did the same thing. That's when I really started getting into YouTube was when I started, I started WW or Weight Watchers, whatever they're going by now. Just before I went to one meeting before we went into lockdown. So I relied on YouTube to get a lot of information, a lot of different things that I could buy, things that I could make. So I totally agree with you there, Brenda Lou. YouTubers really did help me. Now, you can't please everyone, D. And I don't even try. It's like, I mean, one person early on who was really complaining about the length of my videos, I'm like, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't want someone to not have information that they may need. So that's just what you're going to get if you're on this channel. So, I hate to, I said it as nicely as I could, but Karen, believe me, I know what you mean. I Paul tells me probably 16 times a week that I've told him something that many times because I don't remember. I've never had a great memory, so sometimes, like in my recent video before the one today, the collab where I did the salad dressings, somebody did tell me that they were, was that Wendy? Was it you? Said they were allergic to avocado. or no, maybe it was Danielle Nicole. But anyway, and I forgot to mention that you could take out the avocado and just use non-fat Greek yogurt, a half a cup of that. So I did add that to the recipe so that people are aware they don't have to use avocado. But I do like the fact of being able to get some of that healthy fat in. Right. Yeah, D. It's like, I don't want you to just copy what I'm doing. I want you to figure out, I mean, you can do things on your own. You don't have to have me or D or anyone constantly showing you what to do. Sorry. You can sometimes go off on your own if you have the knowledge to do that. So that's why I like giving all that information. Thank you, Deanna. I appreciate that. Karen, I love learning things. Like anything, like when I learn new things, I get very excited, especially things I haven't learned before. Um, I learned most of my cooking from watching Food Network, especially Good Eats. I loved Alton Brown. And he went into the science of why you were doing things. He didn't just show you a recipe, he told you why you were doing things. And I really appreciated that. Oh, yeah, I overthink things all the time. Believe me, I get it. Oh, thank you, Lubov. I appreciate that. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Lubov. Lubov. I think so. You can let me know if I'm wrong. Yeah, I love Good Eats. Well, I appreciate that, D. Um, yeah, I just think knowing that information is very helpful. So um, definitely rather have too much information out there. So Sandy, did you ever hear back from our friend Kim, who has been notably absent from this alive? And are there any other requests while I'm thinking of it? We've already had, she's ignoring you too? Oh, okay, I don't feel so bad. I still have coconut cake on here for Kathy. I still have your fudge, Deanna, on the list. I have a pecan pie. Lori, I have carrot cake. And Diana, I now have gingerbread added to the list. So I do try to work on them as much as possible. It's just not always financially feasible to keep buying all the ingredients. So I try to do as much investigating into the recipe and what I can do before I attempt it. So, oh, sirloin beef tips. I did see you say something about that earlier, and I totally forgot. I got distracted. My ADD. Paul will definitely love that one, Sandy, because he loves beef tips. So he will be glad that you asked. I love, especially buttered egg noodles, Brenda Lou. Zucchini or squash recipes. Okay. Actually, I just did. I mean, it may sound odd, but I did an onion fritter that I had seen somebody do in one of the like foreign food videos that I watch. They were tasty, but the onion surprisingly lost a lot of its flavor, and it was kind of drowned out by tomato sauce that you cook it in after the fact. It was still delicious, but I was then thinking maybe zucchini would be a better thing to do is to make the zucchini fritters. So I will definitely keep that on the list, Karen. Oh, onion rings, yes. I, I love a good onion ring. And I have been considering, because I love using Wassa crackers, especially if you get the crisp breads, the rye crisp bread, I think it is. Um, you can have two of those for like one bite or point. So I was actually thinking there might be a way I can grind them up and use those as some sort of a breading for chicken or something. So onion rings might be a good place to start. Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm jotting down these notes. Um, yeah, oh, I love butternut squash. Actually, I do have, and I didn't do a video for it yet, Mima, a butternut squash pasta that I was going to do a few months ago when there was a collab for pastas, and I didn't end up doing it partly because that was the time. If any of you know, my brother passed away a few months ago, and that was during that time, so I ended up not being part of that collab. But I will. That's another one that I will definitely be putting out there soon. See, and sometimes I'm not sure if I'll be able to read my own handwriting because usually my fine motor skills are what really gives me problems. Oh yeah, Lori, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the dressings this week, and I I, I posted this on Facebook. I took the Caesar dressing, and you can use that as a marinade, which is why that popped into my head. But what I did was I ended up making, instead of chicken broccoli Alfredo, I made chicken broccoli Caesar by putting like a quarter cup of non-fat Greek yogurt to thin it out, and one recipe of the Caesar dressing, and that was so good. Paul loved it. So um, you can use the Caesar dressing that I made as a marinade. Um, but I will look into other ones because, yeah, I agree. A lot of those things are just full of chemicals, and that's why I said in the salad dressing video, I believe you can buy the store bought, yeah, but you don't really know what's in there. So let me see, or buy or Bob. Yeah, I will definitely, especially summer's coming, so that would be a great time to do something for the grill, Lori. So yeah, cat. I now see now my memory. I'm like, wait a minute. I did do eggplant parmesan, but did I do it on the channel? So I think I did, but let me just double check that because I thought I had. Yeah, oh, that's right, because that's the one where I asked the AI to create a low bite, low point recipe for a lasagna. And when it asked me where I wanted to cut out some of those bites and points, I said, well, try the noodles since that's the main thing. Um, so I did do the eggplant parmesan just recently. And let me share that link with you. Um, come on. my laptop is very laggy. I was actually afraid that it was going to shut down because I have it plugged in, but it keeps telling me the battery is low. So I don't know what that's all about. Why is this not? Come on, catch up. Yeah, I've used brand cereal like when I did my granola. All brand, is it all brand? All, oops, I can hear my video playing in the background. Fine. This thing is lagging like crazy. Hopefully, it's not affecting any of you. Okay, I think I've got that. But yeah, I did use, I think it was all brand, which is lower. Wait a minute, which one's lower? See, now I'm not at home, so I can't go to the box. Um, but I think it's the all brand that's lower in bites and points. But that one I used in um, my granola. I'm losing my train of thought. Strawberry pie, actually, I just found a recipe that I want to play around with, it. A couple of different recipes that I'm going to kind of Frankenstein together. Um, so thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tamara. Um, yeah, so strawberry pie, Kathy, I do have in the brain. Whether it stays there or not is a different story, but I do have that one on the list. Mima, I am considering going through Amazon to print my recipes in cookbooks. I was thinking of doing at least one for desserts and one for, I'm thinking dinners under 500 calories. So in case anyone's doing it by calories, um, that seems to be the number people always like under 500. So that's what I'm considering. So that may be coming soon. I gotta just devote myself to paying attention and getting it done. You're welcome, Kathy. Yeah, so I'm thinking, I think the cookbooks, I want to try to get them so that they're a group that makes sense, not just everything tried throwing in together, but like little segments like, so this is for dinners, this is for desserts, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I have looked into it. I actually talked to, there's a guy who has a channel and he sells cookbooks of his stuff. Chef Vic Cuisine, I think, is his channel. And he doesn't do like Weight Watchers or anything like that, low cal stuff. But he does have his own cookbooks. And so I was talking to him about it, and he said it was very easy, especially since I already have them all written up on the blog. I don't think it would be that difficult to transport them. I just want to make sure that I have pictures to go along with each of them if I can, because I'm the type who I like to see what it's going to look like or what it should look like. Oh, so Sandy has a strawberry jello pie on her channel. No, no, and I mean, I'm not even sure if I could use the word bites, D. So I'm not sure how I'd work around that. I'll have to look into what I would need to do to use those terms or get something approximating those terms, something that people would understand. Oh, that's a good idea, Kathy. Choose. And then we could just do a little wink and say, you know what I mean. That is a good idea. Very close. You might be onto something there, Kathy. Yeah, that's also true. Mima, I can just put in the nutritional values and have people work it out that way. Because, I mean, honestly, I've gotten recipes from all sorts of cookbooks, not just WW. So I've had to do that. So, yeah, and you have quite a few recipes, Dee. So I think you could easily do that. I mean, I'm going to look into it and see um, a little more in depth and see what it really involves. But I mean, they basically, you give them, from what I understand, you give them the file and they print it out as people order it. So it's not like you have to have a stock on hand or things like that. So, yeah, see, blackberries, Brenda Luke. I mean, I am not a fan of not strawberries. I'm not a fan of raspberries, as many of you know. But blackberries don't bother me. They're not as sharp. And I think that's what the problem is with me and raspberries, is that sharpness. Oh, I will, Dee. I'll let you know. I will definitely share that with you because it looks, and so far, I mean, I've just done like the basic research, but it looks like it should be fairly easy to get a cookbook through Amazon. Whether that's actually the way it is, I don't know. Oh, good, Audrey. I'm glad that we share that. One thing that really bothers me is a lot of times you go to a restaurant, you order like chocolate cake or whatever, and it comes with a drizzle that I keep hoping is strawberry, but usually it's raspberry. Why? Just why? Okay, so I have a list of things, another added list of things to work on. Oh, there's Sandy's strawberry pie. I will definitely be checking that one out. May just not steal your recipe, but maybe play around with it. You never know. I love to play with my food, as you know. Oh, is she, Lori? I didn't know that. That should be interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping it's as easy as it seems to bring out a cookbook because I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and I'd love to be able to share that and have people have access to it whenever they want, rather than trying to save it to a file or having to go back to the blog or things like that. All right. Well, we have been going for over an hour, so maybe. Oh, keeps telling me my battery is low. Ah,